The eligibility to make Aliyah, the Hebrew term for Jewish immigration to Israel, is fundamentally governed by Israel's law of return, enacted in 1950 and subsequently amended to address evolving circumstances and interpretations. This landmark legislation represents one of the foundational pillars of the State of Israel, embodying the Zionist principle that Israel serves as a homeland for Jewish people worldwide. Under the original law of return, any Jew had the right to immigrate to Israel and automatically receive Israeli citizenship upon arrival. However, the seemingly straightforward nature of this law belies the complex questions that arise in its implementation, particularly around the fundamental question of who qualifies as Jewish for the purposes of this legislation. The law initially did not define who constitutes a Jew, leading to significant debate and several high-profile cases that forced clarification. In 1970, the Knesset amended the law of return to include a specific definition. A Jew is someone who was born to a Jewish mother or has converted to Judaism and does not profess any other religion. This definition aligns with traditional halakhic Jewish religious law principles, though it has created ongoing tensions between religious and secular interpretations of Jewish identity. Beyond those who are halakhically Jewish, the 1970 amendment significantly expanded eligibility by extending rights to family members. Under this provision, the child or grandchild of a Jew, the spouse of a Jew, and the spouse of a child or grandchild of a Jew are all eligible for Aliyah, even if they are not Jewish themselves according to halakhic law. This expansion recognized the reality of intermarriage and mixed families, acknowledging that Jewish identity and connection to Israel often extends beyond strict religious definitions. The amendment also established important limitations. Individuals who were born Jewish but have converted to another religion forfeit their right to Aliyah, reflecting the law's underlying principle that Israel serves as a refuge specifically for those who identify with the Jewish people and potentially face persecution for that identity. Similarly, those who pose a danger to public health, state security, or public order may be denied entry, though such exclusions are rare and typically involve criminal backgrounds. Conversion to Judaism for the purposes of the law of return has proven particularly complex. The law does not specify which conversions are acceptable, leading to ongoing debates between Orthodox, conservative, and Reform interpretations. In practice, the Israeli rabbinate generally recognizes only Orthodox conversions performed in Israel, while conversions performed abroad by non-Orthodox movements may face scrutiny. This has created situations where individuals who consider themselves Jewish and are accepted as such by their communities may encounter difficulties with their Aliyah applications. The interpretation of Jewish ancestry has also evolved through court cases and administrative practice. The requirement extends to individuals who have at least one Jewish grandparent, meaning that even those with partial Jewish heritage may qualify. This broader interpretation was partly influenced by the historical reality of Nazi persecution, which targeted individuals with even limited Jewish ancestry, reinforcing the moral imperative behind Israel's role as a Jewish homeland. Spouses of eligible individuals represent another significant category. A non-Jewish person married to someone eligible under the law of return can immigrate with their Jewish spouse and receive Israeli citizenship. This extends to same-sex spouses following Israel's recognition of same-sex marriages performed abroad, though Israel does not perform such marriages domestically. The law requires that marriages be recognized as valid in the country where they were performed. Documentation requirements for establishing eligibility can be extensive and sometimes challenging. Applicants must provide proof of Jewish identity or ancestry, which may include birth certificates, marriage certificates, death certificates of Jewish relatives, synagogue records, or testimony from rabbis. For those claiming Jewish ancestry through grandparents, genealogical documentation spanning multiple generations may be necessary. In cases where documentation has been lost due to historical upheavals, the Jewish agency, which processes Aliyah applications, may accept alternative forms of evidence. The process also involves security screening conducted by Israeli security services, which can be particularly thorough for applicants from certain regions or those with specific backgrounds. This screening aims to prevent security threats while balancing the fundamental right of Jewish immigration. Medical examinations are also required to ensure applicants do not pose public health risks, though medical conditions rarely result in rejection. Children born to Israeli citizens abroad automatically receive Israeli citizenship regardless of their place of birth, though this differs from the law of return in that it derives from citizenship law rather than immigration law. However, these children may still go through an Aliyah process if they choose to immigrate to Israel, particularly if they wish to access specific immigrant benefits and programs. Age considerations play a role in how the law is applied. Minors may immigrate with their parents even if only one parent qualifies under the law of return. Young adults who qualify through Ancestry often find the process more straightforward than older applicants, partly because their documentation tends to be more readily available and their security clearance typically proceeds more quickly. The State of Israel has also developed various programs to facilitate Aliyah for different populations. Young adults may participate in programs like Birthright Israel or various gap year programs that can serve as stepping stones to immigration. Professionals in needed fields may receive additional support and streamlined processing. Elderly individuals may qualify for special assistance programs designed to ease their transition. Regional variations in processing reflect both practical considerations and political realities. Jews from countries experiencing anti-Semitism or political instability often receive expedited processing, while applicants from stable Western democracies may face more routine timelines. The Jewish Agency maintains offices worldwide to facilitate applications, though the complexity and timeline can vary significantly by location. Religious considerations continue to influence implementation despite the law's secular framework. While the law of return itself does not require religious observance, various Israeli institutions, particularly those related to marriage and divorce, operate under religious jurisdiction. This can create complications for immigrants whose Jewish status is questioned by religious authorities, even if they qualified for Aliyah under the civil law. Recent decades have seen ongoing debates about potential reforms to the law of return, particularly regarding conversion recognition and the role of religious authorities in determining Jewish identity. These discussions reflect broader tensions within Israeli society between religious and secular worldviews, as well as between different denominations within Judaism. The practical impact of these eligibility requirements extends far beyond the legal framework. The law of return has enabled millions of Jews to immigrate to Israel since 1948, fundamentally shaping the country's demographics and character. Major waves of immigration, including from the former Soviet Union in the 1990s and from Ethiopia, have tested and refined the law's application while demonstrating its central role in Israeli society. Contemporary challenges include addressing the status of individuals from communities with complex Jewish histories, such as certain populations in India, China, or South America, where Jewish identity may not conform to traditional definitions. The law continues to evolve through judicial interpretation and administrative practice, balancing its foundational purpose with the realities of modern Jewish identity and family structures.